Just a quick little exercise for you to do today. I'm just going to show you very quickly how to do some of these people, just little silhouettes of people. You can do them in a matter of minutes. We'll have a look at doing some standing up, some with reflections, a couple sitting down here, and just somebody walking in the rain. It takes you, it's just literally a 5 or 10 minute exercise, just to have a play with silhouettes. Very useful thing to learn how to do for putting into paintings. Okay, let's have a go. Okay, so I just want to show you for this, it's just a very quick little exercise of how to make something out of nothing when you come to do people. So if you're doing people, if you can do this exercise yourself as just having a little play of what you can make out of some shapes. And if you just pick a couple of colours, say a blob of a blue, just sort of get it vaguely ovally shape. Perhaps a blob of a red or a brown or something. Again, same sort of thing. Just put a couple of blobs on there, just vaguely like that. How can you turn them into people? So with these, if you just get something a bit darker, you can just bring that down to a little point. Again, with this one, just bring it down, little point down there. You can use that again, just an arm in a pocket. There's another arm coming down there. Just encourage that to go into a little head. A couple of people. You could get them to hold hands if you wanted to. Look at that. If these sort of people are, you've got a strong side light coming in, you've got a shadow, don't bother putting feet and things like that onto it. You get a little shadow coming across from them, like that. And that's it. You've got people. So it doesn't matter if your lines are a bit wobbly, if the colours are running into each other, it just makes it work. Let's do that again, but we want to put them in as a reflection, so they're like walking on wet ground somewhere. Again, just a couple of colours. We'll just have a little bit of a splodge here. Make it, we aim to go like little diamond shapes or carrot shapes or something like that. Again, I like the blue and the red as something to give them different heights to them. Perhaps we'll stick another little blob across here. Do that. So I think, what's that going to be? We'll take a little bit of dark. Again, just bring that down. You've now got somebody with an umbrella. There's a little spike coming out through there. This poor person's getting wet, so perhaps they'll have a hood up. We'll have a little hood up for that one. Again, just bring the darks down. So it's a little bit longer than that. You can almost get a little bent leg as if they're walking along slightly. And then if it's wet like that, they're probably walking along with their hands in the pockets. They're not holding hands because they've fallen out because he's got the umbrella and you won't let her have it. So, but when you're doing reflections, if you've got water coming down here, you'd actually start to see lines coming out directly underneath the person. So instead of going that way like there was a shadow, get a bit of that colour reflected light into it, a bit of the red or the purpley colour around there. And the same with this one, you take a bit of that dark and it will just reflect the colours that they've got above there. And that's a wet, rainy day with a couple of people in it. And of course, if you want children, you just add a few little smaller blobs. So another little red blob down here. Again, little legs, a little bit of a head. The heads tend to be a little bit bigger on children than they are on adults. And then you could just have a little hand coming up. You've got a whole family, just put a little line across, bit of a wobbly head. And there we go. Easy peasy. Let's put, how do we do a little animal? If you're doing a little dog or something like that, you'd have them on the same sort of level as these. You probably just want to put, let me just get a slightly thinner brush for this, because you'd blob for the body, a blob for a head. Join those two together. You probably just want a little leg down there, perhaps a little leg coming off, tail, ear. Because it's raining on this one, we'll have a few little dashes underneath to make it look like he's in the rain there, and just a hint of a lead coming up to this person. Just bring it down so you've got a little dog. Whoops. Something like that. So you just need little bits of something really without worrying about it too much to give the impression of things without going into the full details of everything. Let's have a couple of people running here, or walking I should say. It's just, again, they've got a slightly different attitude. They're not upright, they're leaning forward with intent if they're going to be walking. So you want your blob to go slightly different direction there. So take that down for one of the legs, take that down for another leg. Little foot, the foot curls up, that one curls up the other way. And they're sort of battling in. Again, you could have an umbrella coming up here, covering the head, battling into the rain. So just really just creating an atmosphere and shape. So again, we just have a bit of reflections coming down with this. Little horizontal lines, anything under its reflection be horizontal lines, making sure it touches the person. A bit of the same colours you used on the top. And it gets more spaced out as it gets further away. So it's leaning into it. So you just take the attitude of it and how it's going to go. It's just a person walking there. What can we do? What else can we do? Somebody sitting down. Perhaps if we have a little table, edge of a table, a chair, and then you have somebody have a blob to just get a blob, thigh, elbow leaning up, and then foot underneath, and again just a little bit more different colouring for the head. Sitting on the table, and you might have another leg coming a bit further back and a toe bent up, something like that. So just try and keep it simple. Glass in hand. Somebody there sitting on that side. Let's have another little table out chair over this side. Oh, better put a leg on the chair, hadn't I? And this will be a lot more shadowy underneath. And then let's have that chair going back a slightly different angle. So that's what I'm trying to say is don't worry too much about details and stuff. It's just the impression of things is often enough to get you by. Let's just lose that. Didn't like that chair. Let's just lose that. Bottom comes into that. Foot underneath here. Another leg behind perhaps. Let's get that red colour. Lean on the table or having his dinner or something like that. And a bit of a head coming up behind there. A bit monstrous, but anyway. And just a bit of shadow. And it's enough just to give a little silhouette of things, different attitudes. And it adds a lot to a picture if you're just putting a few little people in. And it doesn't have to be detailed, it doesn't have to be all the accurate part of the faces, but things like that just work quite nicely. These especially, if you're doing them upright, you just want to put them into a little scene, nice and quickly.